Hey guys, we are so excited. We are here with Rylan Pinarelli, and he is in the St. George market, and we are so excited to learn all about everything he's doing in his business. So, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
We're so
Yeah.
excited to have you here. I saw that you've been in business for 5 years in St. George, or has it been there? Have you been there the entire time?
Yep, I had a little stint in Salt Lake City and decided I really didn't like it, and I came back.
Cool.
Okay. How many people are in the St. George area? What would you say that your service area is?
Like two and a quarter, not a lot, 225,000.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
grown quite a bit.
Yeah, it's blown up. It's actually pretty ridiculous. A lot of people are actually leaving because they think it's getting too big, but we
Yeah.
have people coming too, so it's been awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I love
interesting. We're finding that in different markets as well, where it's the locals are kind of getting a little bit squeamish because there's too many people coming in. And so
Yeah,
then they go find a smaller community to move to. So
and then
Where do you
that
find
community
your
gets
trans
infiltrated too.
mm. Where do you find most of your transplants are coming from?
So I actually, my career started on a big team and they had a lot of that Zillow lead stuff happening. So I think on Zillow, you get a skewed idea because you're getting a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm moving there from somewhere else. And I had quite a few people from California, Colorado, really all over the place. And then also you get, it's like there's a political dynamic too. Utah's pretty conservative. So a lot of people just want to get out of the dynamic of the politics in their place to come here. Vice versa too, I'm sure.
We
looking for their
have a lot of
people.
similarities in our
Yeah.
market as well.
Yeah.
Right.
When you said you started on a big team, how many people were on the team? How long did you stay there? Tell us a little bit about your story.
Sure. Ames team here in Southern Utah. My best friend is like a very high producer, and actually my other best friend. They were both on the Ames team as well. My grandpa was a real estate agent. That's not how my story started. I actually own a music store, and it's downtown next to the LDS Temple, and I love that. It's a lot of fun, but unfortunately, it can't support a family. My friend said, "Hey, come over, let's try this out." And they're a great team. Honestly, I couldn't say anything bad about them, but they teach you to grind and they give you a lot of opportunities. But they're with Remax. The team was probably 15 people when I joined. Now I bet they're closer to 30.
Okay.
But yeah, it was great. I spent about a year on the team, really busted my butt. I think I got maybe 16 or 17 transactions in that first year. A lot of hand holding, CRM. They taught you everything you need to do to basically keep up with clients. And then after that, I decided I wanted to go out on my own. As when you're on a team dynamic, that's a big team. Big opportunities usually means bigger splits. And I found a way to market myself so that I didn't have to share my money with a big team. And so that's what I ended up doing about 3 years ago.
That's
So you,
awesome.
you're sorry, I was just going to ask, so you're solo now, or do you have a
Solo,
small
yeah.
team? Okay.
I do
I
have I have an agent under me.
Okay, so I have two questions for you. I want to touch on what you're doing now to market yourself, but before that, I want to ask if you could go back in time and you were a brand new agent all over again, would you join the team again just for the learning opportunities that it gave you?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
hands down. There's no way I would ever recommend anybody just jumping into it without at least a very strong coach because there's too many things that you don't know how to do, processes, communications. And so, yeah, no, I think that starting on a team is probably the one way that you can guarantee that you can make it through those first couple years that are really rough for most.
Yeah, they can be really hard. So tell me about your marketing. What are you doing to
Sure.
gen-
The beginning of that story is pretty interesting. There was a girl in town and she ran a big Facebook group and she basically positioned her advertisers, all advertisers paid a fee to be sponsored and in the group so that they can post. I was trying to get creative because I'm not the type of guy that wants to sit on the phone and call people all day.
Mm.
And I know that's like the worst thing. Most realtors are like, "Oh, he sucks. He's not calling people all day. Isn't going to work."
I can vouch for that. That is not how I ran my business either.
It's a it's a rough way to live, and I just don't like to intrude in people's lives. So I'm not like the expired FISBO canceled agent. I try to create an inbound situation. And if it's not inbound, it's through nurturing, but the nurturing isn't violating where it's like, how did you get my number? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So I started getting in these Facebook groups and just posting listings and basically saying, hey, let's basically go see a house or whatever. I use Lofty. It
May I
was,
ask a question? Just
go ahead.
so were you posting other people's listings or were
Was.
you posting, okay, so you're posting other people's listings. Did you have to ask permission to post those or how did
Yeah,
that?
so you're supposed to ask permission. I guess it changes in different areas. And it's an interesting concept that I've really struggled with, and I'll explain why. You've got Zillow that's, hey, everybody's listing. Take the data, sell it to realtors. And then you have everyone else, realtor.com, doing all the same thing. And I did get hit with plenty of, I definitely had agents being frustrated. I wasn't reaching out to agents to ask them for permission. I was just posting their listing. And most of the time, it just came down to me saying, look, do you want to get your listing in front of more people? Like I put your name on it too. So it's not like you get nothing out of it. People can see the address, they can see your name, it's free promotion. I'm sure you know realtors.
Heard the agents get mad about it because we had agents report us to the Idaho Real Estate Commission because they're like, they're posting our listings. I'm like, it's an IDX feed to our website. The
Doesn't
Zillow
make
saying,
any
"Oh,
sense.
you're getting
Yeah.
more traffic
It's
and you want
ego.
your buyer. It's so crazy to me, the lack of collaboration. Okay, carry on. Sorry.
So the breakdown of that is I think most of the time there's an issue. It's like an ego. That's my listing. Listen, if you really cared about your seller, then you would be so excited about me giving them a huge audience that you're not giving them. That's my whole pitch is I'm so much better, truly, because I'm actually marketing it to more people versus the agent that says, oh, I've got a big team. But you're still putting it on the same MLS. Zillow's going everywhere anyway. What other audiences are you really offering your clients? And the truth is, no one really is. I started doing that. I started posting people's listings, and this is when the market was hot. I was genuinely pulling in sometimes 100 opportunities in a day,
Wow.
which was like, it was too much, actually. I ended up in a bad position because I was like, I can't handle all this. And I started automating it and just picking the cherries, waiting for someone to be like, hey, I'm ready. No nurture, just basically something that's like red hot. So that worked really well. Out on my own, I ended up closing like 7.5 my first year just doing that out of these groups. So
Wow.
you can see how valuable that really is.
Yeah.
So what I did then was offered to, and this is a weird, go ahead.
Sorry, just for clarity, 7.5 million. Yeah, just for the audience, right? Just
Yeah.
to be clear.
And that's sales, that's not commission, just seven and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, let's be
Yeah.
clear.
I wish.
That's amazing.
I probably wouldn't be here right now if I
No.
did 7.5 million. I'd be on the beach. But I offered to purchase this Facebook group and take over her business because it was a business. She had 35 clients. She billed them. And then I don't know if you know about Facebook groups, but you have an admin position in the back and you can control everything that comes in and everything like that. And so I started that, and then that turned into another business because then I can start talking to business owners and get people do what I did with my business for other people. And that ended up spreading into me taking over and purchasing about 30 groups
Oh,
to
wow.
trial and test and see if it's all the same. And that's where it gets a little bit finicky is a lot of people think that Facebook groups, any group you buy is just it's going to be awesome. It's not the case. I have 4 diamonds and a ton of dirt. There's so much that I've just basically taken chances, bought some groups, and some of them have just been basically like they're no good. And I don't know the rhyme or reason. I think it's more like Facebook algorithm that's these groups for whatever reason we like better, so they give them more opportunity and more people. But yeah, so that's been the game plan, and I've been doing that for 3 years.
That's
That's
really
awesome.
fascinating. I wouldn't even have thought of that as an opportunity. I think people out there would be really interested to hear even more about that. You should put
Yeah,
together a course about that.
I'm actually going to. It's been really interesting. I've had a lot of people ask me like how I did it, what I'm doing. And the tough side about it is that it actually comes with quite a bit of blowback. And I didn't realize that I was going to run into it, but there's some negative to it as well. For instance, like when you take over a group, you become the admin, people, they see you in a certain light. So I've actually had a lot of blowback in my groups where people are frustrated that I took over the group, that I have rules. And that's the hardest part that I've really had a hard time navigating is I bring so much value because I bring a team of people who really make them clean and take care of them. I don't know if you guys know, but like in a Facebook group, on average, we probably clean out like 100 posts a day that are like spam.
Really?
So like spammer profiles, and there's some gnarly stuff. Like people post like nasty stuff, political stuff. So I'm giving the public a better product, but I'm also introducing my product, which some people are, geez, this guy's annoying taking over all of our groups to push his agenda. And I'm like, that's true. I am. But at the same time, it costs money to do stuff like this. And it's so timely. People don't realize I have a team of 3 people. We work on this constantly to give everyone a better product. And of course, that comes with compensation. That's the whole reason why we would do it on top of building the community back up. But there's a lot to it. It's an interesting thing. And that's why I want to actually do a course because I can say, hey, don't do this, don't do this, because I did those and it was bad.
I love that. I would buy your course. I'm super intrigued. This is
Yeah,
interesting.
it's
How do you
interesting.
find the groups to buy and
So
like find the
that
admin?
that kind of stuff is more on what I will teach. So
Okay.
I won't get too deep into it, but basically what I'm going to do is in my course, I'm going to show people the process of finding, negotiating, and trying to make it work because those are the hardest parts about it. That's why it's so difficult because it's a lot of work too. Like honestly, I probably spent 400 or 500 hours just diving into groups and exploring and finding tools on how to moderate things more quickly. And it's a busy job.
Do you just stick to your local market?
I've tried branching out a little bit. That's why I tried Salt Lake and it was terrible.
Okay.
That's another thing is I don't think it will work in every market. Uh,
Okay. It will work better in smaller markets.
I don't know. I didn't have any real like roots in Salt Lake. I did the move. Like I sold a house here, moved there.
Committed.
I went all in, but there was no, I don't know why it just didn't work. My plan there, it didn't work at all.
That'd be interesting to explore. But I wonder too if it's just has to do with the size because Salt Lake's so big, right? Like it's just a different, less sort of personal market potentially.
I think people too, a community, I think that matters.
That's generally why people join those groups, right? Like they have a sense of community within that group, even if it's a buy-sell group or whatever. It's like those are
Yeah,
their people. And that probably explains a little bit why you get a little blowback is because that was their group, right?
yeah,
And they were allowed to do certain things. If they wanted to post something political, they
yeah.
were maybe allowed. At least they've got that sense of community. It's joining a coaching group for agents, right? We are looking for community, right? So I wonder if that's it.
Interesting thing, because a lot of people don't know this either, but Facebook is very particular and they don't really let the public know. But let's just say someone posted Donald Trump holding a flag. A lot of times they'll remove posts out of groups for stuff like
Oh,
that. Before the election, people that were heavy posting on like politics leaning that way, I would
Oh,
get
interesting.
warnings. And this is actually another thing that is just funny. That's why you have to moderate these so well, is Facebook will actually kill your group. If they think that your group is negative and you're letting things post that you shouldn't, they'll shut you out of it, they'll delete it. And so I actually am constantly being moderated by Facebook. If someone says anything about a gun, if anybody says, if they post a picture of a gun, A lot of political stuff, if it leans Donald Trump, they'll pull it and delete it. And another thing, if anyone posts about animals for sale, so basically they mark my profile for allowing it in the group. So
Oh,
I could lose the group. And a lot of people will be like, why didn't you let me post that? And then I have to have this whole conversation about, hey, it's not me.
and that takes time, right? And that's where it's like, where's the value
Yeah,
and where it needs to be treated like a business? Is that
right. It's tough.
I would never have thought about that. I find that so fascinating.
It fell into my lap and I just ran with it and it made sense.
Sorry, Desi, you
Yeah.
were gonna say something?
Oh, I just didn't even know you could buy Facebook groups. I didn't know that was something that was like available for
They
sale.
they actually have a byline or like some sort of standard that says you're not supposed to. So that's
Oh,
actually another angle that some people have been frustrated with me. So they've reported me saying that I've purchased Facebook groups. But that's a bitter side too, because Facebook's hell yeah, Rylan's bringing tons of engagement to these groups. So this is awesome for us. So it's weird. You're not supposed to buy them.
okay.
So I've got a question just leading. So you've got these Facebook groups, you've started building your business. It was to the point where it was like too many leads coming
Yeah.
in. You've got that sorted out. How many would you say previously and then now, like how far along, like how many transactions are you doing a year now?
It's been pretty consistent. I close about 10 million. So that's about what it is. Regardless of transactions, it seems like 10 million has been the number. And that's not all just because a Facebook group lead. A lot of that is actually through like trust because it starts somewhere. And that's what a lot of people don't understand in this business is you saw me here, so you knew me. Then you saw me here, so you knew me even better. And then by the time you were ready to start making considerations, you've seen me this many times in this many places. So I'll get a phone call. And then people will say, hey, I saw you on Facebook, but then I also saw you on the billboard in Washington. I want you to help me sell my house. So that's what I've really tried to do is be everywhere instead of just somewhere.
So
Like that.
you're not just doing the Facebook groups, you're also advertising more traditionally like billboards and what else are you doing?
I just did sign up with Viral with Frank and those guys. I wanted to give it a go. I've been following Frank for so long, like 4 years.
Hmm.
And I've never really felt like I needed someone to help me with that. But now that I have this marketing company that's a big portion of my life too now, I just feel like I need to delegate as much as I can. This will be a new thing, trying things out with Frank. I'm still in launch. I'm like week 2. Facebook groups is a big thing, Billboard, and all of the other stuff I feel like has been a waste, or at least I haven't been doing it. You know how, let's say I got a listing in this neighborhood, so I decided to send the whole neighborhood a flyer, a mailer. I've never had any like success with that, but I'm also not doing what the traditional agent does, which is mailer hits, call them, I'll just do the mailer. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole reason behind these phone calls a lot of people don't realize is they have to be able to be like, oh yeah, I saw him. Maybe he's calling me for some reason, or you have to have something to talk about. And that's actually something about viral that sounds interesting is the material you make, you find out when people view it, and then you learn how to have a conversation with those people after they're already familiar with who you are.
Yeah, the videos are good. I'm curious, so you've been super, oh wait, I forgot my question.
Dig
What
deep.
was, so you have one agent under you now. Are you handing off a lot of your business to him or her?
No,
Are they a
actually,
showing partner? Is it more like a showing partner or are they like an active agent?
totally just they've been on their own. They don't like working leads. They're doing all sphere.
Okay.
It's just such a different life. I'm sure you guys will agree that working your sphere versus working people that are like, you got to get to know them, show them a house, go through all that. And that's my preference. I would much rather just take a call, meet a person, show a house, write a contract, see you later. Does that make sense? I have a harder time with feeling like I'm going into someone's life. Hey, I'm going to be your friend for 7 months. while we figure things out. That's harder for me.
Okay. Do you follow up with like your past clients and do you stay in touch with them or do you just do the transaction and then just
I
look
have
for them?
not been good with follow up. I basically, when I think of a client, I'll send a message. Sometimes if I'm in a neighborhood and I've sold other clients in that neighborhood, it refreshes my memory and I'll just send them a text. Something simple. Hey, how are you guys? Hope things are good. I drove by your house showing houses today and I was thinking about you. But I could be so much better at those types of things. And my problem is I have too much going on. So I don't delegate, I don't dedicate the time. But that's actually another part of my business. I just hired an ISA today who I'm not just having call to try to sell people. I want him to call my past clients and say, hey, Rylan was thinking about you. I had a note on my desk. He wanted to just say, hey, and also he has this going on, wanted to give you guys some tickets or something. I'm trying to think of angles like that so I can be better. Unfortunately, I'm just like spread so thin.
So when are you going to be launching your course? That sounds super exciting.
Let's see.
Pressure's on.
All the time in the world. No, actually, on top of everything going on, my wife was like, hey, I want to go back to our other house. So I'm like,
Let's
we
sell her.
we bought a house a year ago. No joke. I put 170 into it. And that's like me being the general on all of it. So I'm saving money by doing that. Finished the whole thing, and she really want to go back to the other one. So we listed it last week, pended it, and we're going to have to move into a rental for 6 months while we wait to go back to our forever home
Oh my gosh.
in
You're
6 months.
a really good husband.
Sounds
You're a
like a
great
really
husband.
fun-
Like, how awesome is it that you kept that home? You kept
Oh,
it as a rental and then, yeah,
no
very
brainer.
cool.
Honestly, we dabbled with selling it because we have tons of equity in it. And I'm like, maybe we just sell both of our houses and go rent and build exactly what we want. But we have a 5-year-old and a 6-month old, and it's just our other house. It is home. It's 4,500 square feet, huge, big backyard. So we'll do that.
Cool.
Sounds awesome. Because you're doing all those things, you don't have a launch date yet, but people could follow you maybe
Yeah,
on your socials, like Instagram, Facebook. Where do you prefer people to find you?
yeah. I'm like the Facebook king, but Instagram's a little bit more accessible. If someone sends you a message, most of the time you get it.
Right.
On Facebook, it's so crazy how often I check my spam daily because I know people want to talk to me. And there's so
Mhm.
often that people are in there, and I'm like, why? Why does this person go to my spam inbox? That's so annoying. It's like they don't want you to talk. But yeah, no, I'm honestly, one of the things that I've coined about my business and myself is literally like call or text me. I'm easy to reach. If you want to talk to me, I will talk to you. And I think a lot of people don't give people that kind of time. So yeah, they can meet me. My handle is like, I think it's the St. George Realtor on Instagram, and on Facebook, it's just Rylan Pinarelli.
That's awesome. We'll make sure to drop that in the comments too on YouTube so people can get that. I'm really curious. So, what is one thing that if you could go back that you would recommend people maybe don't do that you've learned a lesson? Like, hey, I tried this, it really didn't work for me. I shouldn't have done that.
I think that I would say don't force it too much, which kind of sounds like give up. But I've tried so many times to be that agent that's all call expireds, canceled, and FISBOs and compete with everybody and get to the door dressed nice and tell them I'll get them more money than the next guy. But I enjoy my relationships so much more when I have people who come to me in a way. Does that make sense?
100%. That's me to a T. Like that was how I ran and started my business for sure. I think a lot of people are more comfortable in that sense. You used a word before, inbound. I
Yeah,
liked that. It was like inbound. I can
right.
get that. How about you,
Well,
Desi? I know that you probably feel the same way, hey?
Yeah.
Those are the really good clients. And I also really loved how you called it Dirt and Diamonds. I was like, man, Rylan should call his course, or we should call this podcast From Dirt to Diamonds.
yeah. I think there's a thing about agents. that when you're like when I was on the Ames team, when we get a Zillow call, I knew that the potential there was huge. But when they gave me the scrub list, I was like, I don't want to play in the mud. This is not like what I want to do. I want to handle the high level stuff. And I had so many cool things happen where I take a call. Hey, I want to see a house. Great. I'll see you in an hour. Meet them. Did you want to write an offer? Yes. Okay, great. Do you need financing? No, on cash. High five. Best day ever. 14 days later, collecting a commission and having a lifelong client. It's really cool, but that is so costly. And another thing is agents don't realize, go try to be part of Zillow and you'll see it is so much money.
Yeah, we don't really do a lot of Zillow up here. I'm in Canada, but I know Desi, you've dabbled in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Canada.
it's a different lead. I love everything you've talked about. Dirt, mud, diamonds. Like, I feel like this is awesome. I would love to have you back once you launch your course,
Sure.
because I feel like that's a really interesting way to establish yourself. And I would imagine the vast majority of agents have never even considered that.
Yeah, it's very outside of the box thinking. I love
Yeah,
it.
I think that's actually when I was with the team, it was like, because they were like, Rylan, do this. I'd be
Mhm.
like, I'm too smart to do that.
That's not my jam. Some
You know,
people just eat it up. There's people, we were just at a conference in Salt Lake, and there was a guy that picked up a phone. He just made a call. Like, wasn't that awesome? It was
Yeah.
just like watching him roll that out. I was like,
Wow.
you're incredible. I wouldn't do that.
yeah.
But like,
At
it was totally his
this
jam.
spring event
Yeah.
was
Yeah. He's so cool. So cool.
So
Go ahead,
like
Jeff.
I always tell people like the best lead generation is the one that you're going to actually do. So I have an agent he loves door knocking. It's like his favorite thing in the whole world to do. Like he gets so excited and he's like a kid on Christmas Eve. And then there's other agents who are like, I would rather actually die than knock on somebody's door. Just run me over with a truck. And
yeah.
so
I always think the negative, I'm like, what's behind the door? If they don't want you there, and in the States, like there'd be people with a gun behind the door. That's terrifying to me.
Yeah,
guns in Canada.
Not like you guys. Like it's
you know
when
what?
you go through the airport in Canada, there's nothing that says make sure you're not packing as you go through. That's not even, you're not allowed to have a concealed weapon in Canada.
Oh, good to know for when I come visit in
And don't
May.
bring your gun. Don't bring your guns. You'll
That's so funny.
So can people, sorry, go ahead.
My first sales job, which was not a successful one, I knocked doors when I was young. Someone recruited me to Arizona from Utah because they're like, oh, Utah boy. I'm like, no, I'm not who you're really looking for, but I'll try it. So I go out, first day, I knock on a door and I literally hear someone rack a shotgun. And he literally tells his kid, basically, I can't remember what he said, but it was totally like threatening. So I left and I just thought, here's why I don't knock doors, because it's rude as hell. When I'm home and I have my daughter and I'm trying to put her to sleep and I've got dogs and someone knocks on my door and upsets my household like that, wakes my daughter up, or even just makes my dogs bark when I'm just trying to relax, there's no bigger piss me off. So that's why I'm like, I won't do that ever.
That's a really interesting take. I do agree, because I think people in this day and age just aren't used to people. Like, I think smaller communities, it changes per community, right? The bigger the community, the more people are enclosed in their homes, right? There's the drive in your garage, get out of your car, go inside. You barely know your neighbors in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But like, I'm with you on, if someone knocks on my door and my dogs go nuts, I'm like, who is that?
And then you look out and they've got a clipboard and you're like, am I going to be
Uh,
nice? Should I answer the door?
yeah.
I'm always nice. I always answer my door, but I don't know. So
You promise?
if anybody wants to get a hold of you and is interested in reaching out and getting like on the roster to get your course when you launch it, because I feel
Yeah.
like people are going to be really excited about that. Can they do that?
Sure thing.
Awesome.
They can reach me on my cell, 435-229-0704. Rylan at thestgeorgerealtor.com, the St. George Realtor on Instagram. Anyway, even if they just want to chat and just talk, I like to be a resource for people.
Well, you're a wealth of information. I'm so stoked.
That's
Yeah,
cool. I'm
it
glad
was
you
great
found
to
some
meet you.
value in it.
So much value. Thank you for coming.